You're big fans of taking notes. Take inventory of your entire day. How many hours you're spending on this, how many hours you're spending on that, because you'd be surprised exactly how much time you're spending on social media or otherwise. And you actually encourage Shobha, your workers to do this as well.
So we actually just went through this exercise in our company, and it was such an awakening for me, my entire team, about what we were spending our time on. Email was a huge one. People were spending about 2.5 days of their week on email. And I said, okay, so was that time good, well spent? And the reality was they were just reading each other's emails to each other. And I said, okay, so, but nothing was getting executed. So I instilled something just to try it out for 1 month where people could only check email at certain times. And it's 3 times. And we said for 1 month you have to go. And we actually had a few people cry, believe it or not. And I'm being totally serious. They just didn't know how to dictate their day without being able to have access to email because they felt like I don't know what to do with my day. And I said, wow, because when I first came out of college, and I'm dating myself, but when I first came out of college and worked at Procter & Gamble, we didn't have email. I just sit down and say, what am I going to do today? And if I needed to communicate something, I said, how important is it? Do I need to pick up the phone and talk to them? Or am I going to write a memo? Or am I going to set up a meeting with them? And it was a very thoughtful process. And don't get me wrong, I think email and kind of all this other stuff has made us more efficient in certain ways, but I think it's also making us very ineffective in certain ways. And so that's one of the things that I was able to see by just cataloging. And we don't have to do this every day. You don't want to sit here and say, I did this from, I ate a granola bar for 5 minutes. But it's more to just see where you're doing that. And we decided as a company that I decided that I would like us to do this once a quarter. To just say, what are the things that are taking so much time? What are the processes that we have in place that are not inefficient, ineffective? And so personally, it was a way for me to just say, what am I spending my time on? And is this what I want to be spending my time on? And so it's just making me more aware of those 2 hours that I might have, and is this an energy rising activity or not? That was the other thing. I said, I could eat a Kit Kat right now, or I could go swimming. And so sometimes I choose the Kit Kat, but sometimes I'll do the swimming because I know that I need to be, and I think just to be okay with it, it's okay to eat the Kit Kat, but it's also just okay to be aware and say, okay, I need to do something that's going to give me energy. And so anyway, so I think the only way to do that is to understand where your time is being spent, actually.
I usually pick the martini. Jen, you had a great point, and I actually want to punt this to Sonia because you had a great supporting point to that, is that you spend your whole life operating in one way. And the majority of your adult life, as you mentioned, you were raising kids. They're teenagers now. But there was a day that a shipment or an order didn't come in, and you really just lost your you-know-what. And you took it out on them, and then you had to kind of check yourself. But tell me about that scenario.
So I've always been patient with the kids, but I remember
Hold the mic up to you, would you?
there was so much stress that it was summer and we needed our summer shipments, and they were in the customs since 25 days, and Nisha will agree to that. And we were calling them up like, where's our shipments? Where's our jewelry? There's no, like, what are we doing? We had this huge trunk show, and I was just like getting so irritated, like days after days. And I remember going back home, and my son at that point was 11 and a half, and he's like, hey mom, how's everything? Like running from one place, and my daughter's like on the piano, and I was like, guys, stop it, that's it. And they've never seen me. They've seen me get upset, but they've never seen me really, like taking the stress from work back home. And they were like, what happened? And I'm like, that's it, I'm leaving everybody, I'm leaving all of you, that's it, I'm going away, I don't want to, I'm just running away. And they've never seen that side of me. And they were like, did you fight with dad? And I'm like, no, that's it, I don't want to talk to you guys don't understand, you guys don't love me. I just gave them so much of that. I just wanted to melt down, and I thought it was just okay to melt down at home. And then I went back in my room, and I was like, what did I just do? I just calmed down, and I went up to them and I was like, listen guys, I need to talk to you. I know you think I'm your mom. Right now, don't take me as your mom. Take me as just one of you. I've had a big meltdown. This is what happened. I have a trunk show in a week's time. None of my merchandise is here. It's a huge show. It's about 600 people going to be here. The stuff is stuck in a custom. So I'm only appreciating if you guys just understand me and just leave me alone. And they were like, you're divorcing dad.
That's all they took from that whole spiel?
I'm like, no, I meant to say, leave me alone in the sense like I'm just, I'm gonna start crying, guys, please. And I remember like going back and I said, guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I remember like coming back, and my husband was out of town, and I cried and I cried and I cried, and my kids just didn't understand what was going on because they've never seen that side of me, getting the pressure of work back home. I never had pressures. So the next day, I woke up in the morning and we were sitting on the table. We always eat breakfast together. And I was like, guys, I'm really sorry. Mom had a hard day. You remember, like, on your first day of school, you just like people sometimes, like your teachers are hard on you, your grades are not good, mom and dad are hard on you. I had like stress from work, and I'm really sorry. I apologize for being the way I was, but I just want to let you know there's one lesson to learn from this, that even as mom and dad, we all have feelings and we all are just going to break down one day. So what we need right now is your love and your support. And when they went to school, when they came back and they were like, Mom, we're there for you. And I remember this, my daughter telling me, she goes, for so many years, so many months, you kept me in my stomach. And then when I'm sick, you look after me. This is my time to be with you. Can we go and buy some clothes from the fashion district and we can...
Was that for her or for you?
She found a solution. And I remember my son, he was like, you know what? Let me go to the custom office. I know Taekwondo and I'm going to show them like what I can do. But it's just like the really big lesson that I saw at that point was, again, going back, creating the seeds. You really put those seeds in your kids, and it's okay to melt down. It's okay to have all these feelings because you want your kids to have these feelings, even when they grow up.